Okay, another update on my Hazard 4 Patrol Pack today. And just got something new in the mail today from Amazon. And I wanted to take a minute to show you guys what I decided to do with this pack. So I love this pack. It's been awesome so far. And I'm not even halfway done stocking it with supplies. This is to be my 72-hour bag. But there was one upgrade that I wanted to make to the actual pack itself, which is going to be the waist belt. And so this does have a removable waist belt on it, and I was able to procure a upgraded belt for it, and that's what I'm going to show you guys. So I guess the biggest drawback of this pack for me so far was the waist belt. And not that it's a terrible waist belt, but it's just not as great as I thought it could be. So let me show you the back of this belt here. Actually, I'll show you the front first. So it's just a kind of a standard, MOLLE webbed waist belt with a large locking buckle. And let me spin it around. So the back of this belt is this breathable mesh padding. Now, while this does offer breathability, which I don't think is really a big deal on this little skinny, 4-inch space that goes on your hips, this padding is pretty flimsy. It's thick. It's it's a good half-inch thick, but it's just not very very firm. And so, for example, that's just squashy, right? And so when you cinch this up on your waist, all of this is going to compress down. And what that means really is that this belt does not provide a lot of load bearing for the pack itself. Okay. So down here in this little sleeve, this is where the belt slips in through the side like so, and there is Velcro on the inside to retain the belt in place and hold it there. And so I'm going to remove this belt from the pack now, and we'll get my new belt up here and we'll do a side-by-side comparison, and then I'll put on the new belt. Meanwhile, I'm going to cut off the camera for that, because removing this belt from the Velcro is not that easy. The Velcro holds it really, really well, and so it's going to take some work in both hands for me to get this belt freed from the pack. So I'll be back in just a second with another video. Okay, so we got them both out now. We got the original belt on the bottom and the new Hazard 4 belt on top. Now they look pretty similar, and they are. They're both made by the same manufacturer. And so let's get you in a little closer here, and we can see what's going on with this. Okay, so here's our loop field, and loop field on both of them are pretty much identical. And we've got the same 4 plastic D-rings on both belts. This is the original belt. Now, this original belt did have these retention rings here, and there is a coinciding little Velcro strap on each side of the pack that locks into those rings on the original belt, which is completely unnecessary, considering that this giant Velcro field locks into a Velcro hook field that is inside the pack here, and it really ain't going nowhere. It's extremely difficult to remove the belt because of that Velcro alone. So those are an unnecessary feature in my opinion, and no need to have them on the new belt. So that being said, you will notice here the same Cordura badge. These are both 1000D Cordura, very durable stuff. And we've got the same buckle. This is a locking buckle, which I don't really know why you would need a waist belt to lock onto your body. You know, considering that the buckle itself is plenty strong enough to, you know, hold, and it's not going to pop off for any reason, but it's there if you needed it. I'll probably never ever use that feature. That being said, let's do a little bit of a size comparison here, because there is a slight difference. So I'm going to get them stacked, and we can see that the original belt being on top and the new belt being on the bottom, the new belt is close to, it's probably about 3.5 inches more of the actual MOLLE belt than the original. So what that does is gives you a whole extra MOLLE loop here that's going to bring that MOLLE closer around to the front of my hips, to where I can get, you know, like if I wanted to put a knife sheath or a flashlight holster or something, it'll bring it around closer to the front of my hips where it's easier access. So the extra length on the MOLLE was a big factor for me. I really like that. And then the main reason that I upgraded this belt is rigidity and load bearing. So we've got this versus this, okay? And the reason why, bam. So the backing is not that breathable, soft, flexible mesh stuff. It is this thermo molded foam 3D type stuff. And so these 3D, you know, vents through here are still going to allow plenty of breathability, but it's significantly more rigid. It's going to be better load bearing and more comfortable. This is really nice, comfy padding. It's just like the thermal molding that's on the back of the pack. So now you've got that around your hips and on your back. So that's the main reason that I wanted to upgrade this this belt, was to move over to that thermo molded load bearing belt system. And I think this is going to make a pretty big difference on the backpack for me. And so let me flip the original so you can see here. Okay, we got this super soft, patty, crushy stuff versus the firm, rigid, thermal molded stuff. And that's pretty awesome. I think it's totally cool that you know, Hazard 4 has this as an option. They don't mention in their, you know, advertising anywhere that this belt could be used for a waist belt on a backpack. That's just my own kind of little ingenuity there. This is actually considered a war belt or a battle belt or a load bearing, you know, belt of sorts to carry your, you know, your AR mag pouches, your holsters, your dump pouches and stuff like that, if you were all kitted out, if you're some kind of, you know, super operator or something. But for me, you know, it just screamed waist belt upgrade. It is a tad bit wider here, but it's still going to fit in the pack just fine. There's plenty of play there to work with that. I think it's probably, let's see, not quite a half an inch wider, but a little bit wider, okay? Over a 1/4 inch, not quite half an inch, maybe 3/8, something like that. But yeah, guys, I guess that's about it. And I'm going to install this onto the new pack there, and I'll probably post a cool picture of the pack. And catch y'all in the next video when I do something else to my dope ass new little bug out bag here. Later.